Alright guys, welcome back to Toronto as we are following our Toronto Chiefs in the NHL Youtubers custom created GM mode. So we started off the first 7 games of this year 1 simulation 3-3-1. Studs is leading our team in goals with 4. Johnny has 5 assists on the year. Huey leading in plus minus with 2. Also leading in penalty minutes with 33. And Bacon has 3 wins. So 3-3-1, not bad. Not a bad start. And our AHL team is 2-1 to start the year. So let's keep continuing on here with our next home game up against the Carolina Hurricanes. So hopefully we can get back on our winning track once again. 2 losses in a row. Hopefully we can start winning some games. So the first period, Alexander Simmons starts out the scoring, but Deke comes right back on a power play. Our power play seems to be working very, very well for this beginning of the year. So we take a 1-1 tie going into the second, and we come out of the second with a 2-1 lead as Dobbs gets another power play goal for us there. So we take a 2-1 lead going into the third period. We're keeping fairly close in shots with the Carolina Hurricanes. Another good penalty kill there on a power play for Carolina. And we eventually do win this game by a final score of 2-1. A very good third period from our defense and Bacon as a whole in this game. Deacon from Johnny and Dobbs from Owe and Deke. So Deke and Dobbs do get 2 points on the night for each of them, and a very good night in net for Bacon. So the AHL team had a game that past one against the Rochester Americans, and they do win that one 3-1. As you guys can see there, Kyle, he might be making a name for himself down there in the AHL. Has 4 goals in 4 games for the AHL team. So he could maybe get a call-up soon. Who knows? But we move on to this game against the Chicago Blackhawks, and we start off on the right foot. They threw LaBarbera in there, and Sykes gets a goal pass there in the first period, tied up in shots. So we take a 1-0 lead going into the second period. But then it gets a little bit crazy. So Chicago busts out 3 goals in the second. We only get 1. Saad gets it started for them to tie up the game. Studs gets a goal to make it 2-1 for us, but then Christopher Stieg on a power play and Michael Hanzus get 2 more past Bacon to make it a 3-2 lead after 2 for the Chicago Blackhawks. So we're competing fairly well with this team so far. It's only a 1-goal game. We can essentially come back into this game. Power play for us there, couldn't capitalize on it, but the Chicago Blackhawks definitely take advantage of that. Patrick Sharp puts that one in the net for a 4-2 lead. Nick Leddy would add an empty netter in for a 5-2 victory. So Austin gets the goal there from Owe and Mold, and Studs from Owe. So Owe was the only one to get 2 points that game. As we move on to our next home game here against the Anaheim Duckaroonies. So we have a pretty big losing streak right now. We've lost 3 of our last 4, I believe. And first period, nothing happened in there. Second period, Haley Diego gets a goal. Jacob Silverberg gets 1 for the Ducks to make it 1-1 after 2 periods of play as we're going into the third period. Dustin Penner gets a goal. Pancakes and bacon, the breakfast special at Denny's, gets a goal there, and Andrew Cogliano would put in another one in the third period. And the Anaheim Ducks would go on to win this game 3-1. It looks like Bacon's kryptonite is the third period. So Diego gets the only goal from, I think, Deke and Superman, I think, or maybe Owe. I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't paying attention. But we go now on the road to face the Columbus Blue Jackets. First period, Tough Tuber gets 1 there, but Foligno and Jack Johnson get 2 more on the board to take a 2-1 lead for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 12-6 in shots. Columbus would have 3 more goals in the second period from R.J. Umberger, Marion Gabrick, and Jack Skilly to make it a 5-1 game, and Columbus would not look back there. Power play to maybe get us back into this game, but Columbus would add 1 more there from R.J. Umberger and another one there from James Wisniewski, and once again, we just can't seem to dig ourselves out of these early holes. We lose that game 7-1. Tuber gets the only goal there from the assist from Big Johnny Superb Man, and now we move on to an even tougher opponent, the Pittsburgh freaking Penguins. So the first period here, they get off to a 1-0 lead. Sid the Kid Crosby gets a goal for them, and they get 2 in the second. We also get 2. So Chris Kunis makes it 2-0. Dobbs on a power play makes us climb back into it. Malkin gets 1 for them, and Clapperton gets 1 as well to make it a 3-2 lead. So once again, it's only a 1-goal game again in the third period, but unfortunately, their power play right after it ends, Evgeny Malkin, Gino snipes that one on Bacon, and that would do it for this game as the Pittsburgh Penguins would beat the Chiefs 4-2. With Dobbs getting the goal there from Deke and Clappy getting that one from Owe. So It's just a troubled time that we're having right now. So we switch over to the Marlies to see how they're doing. They are 6-1 right now as they're taking on the Hamilton Bulldogs. First period, 1-1 tie. Dilsey gets the only goal for us there. Second period, nothing happening. So we got a 1-1 tie going into the third. 19-9 on shots. Louis LeBlanc puts one in for the Hamilton Bulldogs. Power play for us there. Couldn't capitalize on it, and our shots were just extremely limited in this game from Hamilton. I don't even think we break 20 shots. Nope, they get a 3-1 lead there from Louis LeBlanc on a shorthanded goal, and we get demolished in that game, 3-1. Dilsey gets the goal assisted from AJB. Now we switch back over to the Chiefs to see how they're doing and playing the Edmonton Oilers. So on the road, this team creamed us last time. We get out of the first period and dominate them 14-4 on shots, but they come back in shots and make us their bitch in the second period. 2 power play goals from Sam Gagner and David Perron. Get 2 of them past Smelly, and then they just do not look back. Edmonton gets a goal there from Taylor Hall to make it 3-0. We get a power play there, but Sam Gagner puts it in for a 4-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. We do come back here on a power play. Halo Diego gets one past Breeze Galov, and then Sully gets one again on a power play to make it 4-2 to make it kind of interesting, but they would get an empty netter from Nick Schultz, and that would do it. So Diego gets that one from Sykes and Tactics, and Sully gets that one from Tactics as well. So Tactics HD had 2 assists that game, so we need something to maybe turn our game around right now, because we're just losing games left and right. So we're taking on the Calgary Flames. The Clapperton gets the first goal of the game past Rito Barra. 18-8 on shots. We're beating them, Calgary, this game. So 10-, it's 18 shots to 26. But they do on their next shot. Knight gets one for them. Stajan comes back and makes it 2-1 for Calgary. We tried to make it interesting. Studs gets one there, but then on a power play, Dennis Weidman taps it home for the Calgary Flames. Past Bacon once again. Bacon flops again in the third period, gives up 3 goals to the Flames, and they walk away with a 3-2 win. Clappy, his 5th goal of the year from Owe and Diego, and then Studs from Owe. So Owe gets 2 more assists that game, and it's just not looking good for the Chiefs. So the Marlies, we switch back to them playing the Hamilton Bulldogs once again. First period, 0-0, 12-9 leading in shots. Second period, 1-0. Louis LeBlanc gets one on Richard Head. And we go time 6 simulation once again, see if the Marlies can come back into it again. Long power play, couldn't capitalize on it. Thomas gets a goal for them to make it 2-0. And don't think we would find any way to climb back into this game. We stayed pretty close to them in shots, but St. Pierre gets that one for them. 3-0 win for the Bulldogs over the Marlies. And that would do it for this episode's worth of games as we take a look at the team stats. See, I don't know, man. It's just that these teams they really haven't been beating us. We're staying fairly close with these teams in shots, but it's just we keep digging ourselves in the early holes and can't climb out of them. So our goals for per game is 2.21. Our goals against per game is 3.93. We're letting in way too many goals. Don't know if it's our defense or our goaltending. Power play is 20th in the league, so hopefully that can get better. And our penalty kill is 76.9. So we're not doing the greatest right now. As you can see, our stats are all over the place. The power play does look it's looking fairly good because a lot of our goals are coming on the power play. Our away and home stats are just not good, but here's the player stats. So for the first 14 games, Deke, Clappy, and Dobbs all have 8 points together. So Dobbs is on the second line, but he's still getting it done with 8 points. Studs has 7 points. Tactics HD has 7 as well. And Sykes has 5 points on the fourth line, 2 goals, 3 assists. So Sykes is doing a fairly good job there on the fourth line getting it done. Tuber with 3, Mold with 3. Flash Davin still only has 3 points in 14 games. Haven't had any points in that last couple series. Savvy with only 1 point. X-Tech only has 1, but that's okay because he's more defensively minded as a two-way forward. And Lamb Chops only has 1 point as well. So I think we're going to be making some call-ups here. Most notably, Savvy and Lamb Chops have not been doing anything for us. Defensively, Owe with 10 assists in 14 games. Halo Diego with 8 points in 14 games. Johnny with 7. Sully on top with 1 goal. Flop and Yui still with nothing yet. Yui up to 72 penalty minutes. All of our defense is minus. And we take a look at our goaltending. 12 games for Bacon with a 3.35, 4-7. Smelly had a goals against average, I think, up to 5, but at least it's better. Both of their save percentages are under 90%. It's just not looking good for the team right now. But if we take a look at the AHL stats, Cruiser has 7 points in 9 games. CHF has 6. UTP 4 goals in 9 games. It's Kane 4 assists, and AJB with 4 assists. Matt Roberts with 3, JLo with 3, Cedar Point with 3, myself with 3, Average Pro with 3. Jagerba has 1, Jojen does not have anything. And so looks like Cruiser is might be getting a call up. Defensively, Crazy Canuck with 7 points in 9 games as well. Dilsey with 6. McDonough and JP both have 1 each. Trevdo and Saad do not have anything as it stands right now. Dilsey is the only plus player on defense right now. And then goaltending, Richard Hez playing fairly well. 2.10, and Viper did play that one game with a 1.00 goals against average for his 1 win on the year. 5-3 for Richard. Save percentage of 93.84. Viper with a 97.5 save percentage. He stopped 39 of 40 shots in the only game that he played. So great job there for the one game that Viper was in. But Richard is playing pretty well. 93.84 save percentage. Has let up 17 goals in 8 games. But still, he's doing fairly well, and the AHL team is winning games, so it's nothing that I'm going to complain about. So, with that being said, we're going to do some roster moves, as it seems, and we're going to swap lamb chops with somebody. We're going to bring up to the NHL team. We're going to bring up Cruiser, and we're also going to switch out Savvy, and we're going to swap him. Took a little bit of consideration who I was going to swap him for, so I switched him with Kyle because he has been getting a couple goals down there in the AHL. I was thinking about bringing up Colton because it would be a third liner to help out, but Cruiser goes in there to the third line, Kyle goes down there to the fourth line center, and that's how it would stand. And Lamb Chops does go to the first line center, Savvy goes down to the third line left wing spot, and that is the only first roster moves of the year, hopefully the first of many, as we tried to turn our season around. 4-9-1, not the greatest. Started out 3-3-1 and basically just went 1-6 in our last 7 games. So not the greatest run for us there. Hopefully we can find a way to turn our game around and maybe get back on track for a little bit. So there's our next previous games against Nashville, Washington, 2 games against Buffalo. I think the Bruins were in there. The Canucks are in there as well. So we need to find a way to turn our season around, lick the split, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for episode number 4.